Kommer du til?
Jeg skal være sånn.
Ja, bare sånn.
Nice.
Hva er det neste? Jeg skjønner det er litt uklart.
What do you mean? Når hun kommer, så kan du sette deg. Jeg kan sikkert tilte sofaen litt inn.
Litt nærmere, ja. For det vi sitter veldig langt.
Can people hear us?
Bare flytte litt på. Nå må er det en meter da?
Så lenge vi ser ut som at vi på en måte har avstand. Vi
det ser jo ganske bra ut.
Jeg kan strekke ut armen, så kan jeg si ja. Nei.
Så vi bare tuller litt med vinklene.
Ja. Er vi faktisk live?
Er dette for cash?
Vi er live.
Er vi live?
Jeg vet ikke.
Er det noe vi går videre?
Linken ligger hos meg.
Jo, det gjør den. La den ha delt. Der, ja. Sofie. Ja, vi hører det, dere.
Okay, I think we should start talking English.
Yes, okay. Hello, and welcome to this first ever digital stream with the ISFiT. With ISFiT. This is our little haphazard, half fun, very chillax way to give you guys information about ISFiT, which is happening this February in the 10th of February? No, 11th.
11 till 21st.
Yes, 11 till 21st. So how all this will work is that in the link in the description, there is a Google form where you can send in your questions, whatever you may wonder about ISFiT. And then our lovely panel here will answer. It'll just be fun, it'll just be nice, nothing serious. We want to answer whatever questions you may have, and so that you get keen on ISFiT and want to join us, because we are going to find new people to join our fun little organization soon. We can start with a little introduction round with, for example, Tushan here.
Hi, my name is Tushan, and I'm the head of culture. Maybe I should say that I'm turning 24 in about a week.
Ooh! So what does the culture program in ISFiT do?
Well, the culture section creates the culture program of ISFiT, and so if you join the section, you'll be able to book the acts and also be in charge of operating Studentersamfunnet, which is the big red house in Trondheim.
Exciting! And then we got Signe. Introduce yourself, say who you are.
Hello, my name is Signe, and I'm the vice president in ISFiT. And I'm 23 years old, and I study political science here at NTNU.
Nice. And then hello.
Hi, I'm Kristin. I'm the assistant head of the Student Peace Prize. I study economics here in Trondheim, and I'm 22 years old, since we're telling.
And I'm Frey. I'll sort of be the host and stuff like that, and I'll be keeping up with the chat and the questions that are being sent in. We have 16 questions as of now. I don't think we'll go through everyone, but we will go through some of them, and we can start with, for example, this one question here. What is your best ISFiT memory? Do anyone want to start?
I can start.
Yeah.
I think it was, I joined ISFiT 19, which was the last festival, and it was an intense year where we worked a lot. And I think for me, the greatest moment was actually the opening ceremony, which is a ceremony when you gather like all the participants, all the volunteers, and everyone is in their national costumes. And we were in Storsalen at Samfunnet, and just the feeling to see, look around and see this is actually what we have been working on and created was really a really big moment.
Tushan, you led the ceremony team last year, didn't you?
Yes, I did lead the ceremony team last year. And I can say that my favorite ISFiT moment was when, during the Peace Prize ceremony, when we had set up the stage and all the stage design was up, and like an hour or two before it started, we all just sat down and I probably sat down alone and looked at the stage and was like, oh, this is very cool. It looks very, very cool. And it was just this moment of like when everything you kind of have in abstract gets concrete. It was very, very fun.
Good.
Yeah, I was also part of ISFiT 19, and I worked on ISFiT Trail. So my favorite memory is when the train arrived in Trondheim with 200 of the participants, and we'd taken them from Oslo, and just meeting my team head there and having a debrief and just, okay, we actually did this. We have 200 of the participants on the train in Trondheim.
Nice.
That was super cool.
Yeah. Because ISFiT is, as mentioned by Matilda during the actual live stream from NTNU, is the International Student Festival in Trondheim. And our goal is to gather other students from across borders to Trondheim for 10 days of dialogue and culture and fun times. So Kristin here, who worked in the transport team last year, made sure that everyone arrived safely. And there was a train, which is fun. Yeah. We can take some more questions. What do you think is the best part about volunteering in ISFiT, Kristin?
Maybe that you get to work on such cool things. Like the theme this year is creating knowledge, and I get to work on a peace prize. I mean, who can say they made a peace prize while studying? And as well as the people you meet. I think that's the biggest thing. You meet so many incredible people from all over Trondheim who does not study the same, who does not necessarily have the same interests, but you have this one super cool thing in common.
And I would like to add that one of the coolest things is being able to meet a lot of engaged people. That really transmits, if that makes sense. Like you being able to work with so many engaged people is, I would say, a bit rare.
I think also just the sense of freedom that we are students who are like, we have our own office, we can create whatever we want, and we do it alone as students and also together as students. And I think that's just very special.
Because we are in the office right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
They're not every student organization that have their own office space. At least not as big as this one. Is it social being in ISFiT? Is it a very social thing?
Yeah, I would say that's the biggest part of ISFiT, is that it's very social. And I think that's also what we are focusing on this year, is to create a platform for students to be social, and especially now that, you know, it's restrictions with the studies and everything. I think we can really be a platform to get to know other students and be social, actually.
And we could also talk about how, like, the structure of ISFiT, because ISFiT is, like we mentioned, an international student festival, and there is it is made out of 6 sections. There's the culture section, which Tushna represents. There's the Student Peace Prize, which Kristin represents. Communication, which I represent. The admin section, the organizational resources section, and the participant section. The participant section is the section that work with finding and getting hold of all of the participants from across borders and make sure that everyone who is involved is engaged and are going to have a good time. Then there's the admin section who work on the sort of the office space and email and all of the logistics around the festival. Organizational resources work with sort of everything that builds up the festival in itself to make sure that the volunteers for that work here have a good time with, like, HR and internal events, but also the practical with economy and stuff like that. My section, communication, work on getting the word ISFiT out into the world, either through design or film or social media, this YouTube stream, for example. Culture section, making the culture program, which is both for the volunteers, people in Trondheim, and the participants. And then there's also the Student Peace Prize, which is a very fun little extra thing that we have on the side. Do you want to explain a bit more in detail?
Yes, the Student Peace Prize actually started as an idea from some volunteers during ISFiT that was arranged in 1999. So we had our 20th jubilee last year, in 2019. And since then, the Student Peace Prize has evolved from an idea, a project, to its own gang, to its own section. And what it basically is that every second year during the ISFiT Festival, we award a prize, a peace prize, on behalf of all Norwegian students to a student or student organization who has worked to promote peace, democracy, and/or human rights. And we do this in collaboration with NSO, Norwegian Student Organization, and SIH, Student in Academics International Help Fund. Yes. So actually, we find out who our winner is tomorrow, and it will be announced the 15th of October. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Nice. We have another question here, which I thought was an interesting one, a little fun one. Why should you join ISFiT instead of Uka or Samfunnet or some other Lilith-forening? What is the benefits of ISFiT as opposed to the other things that you can join? Signe.
Yeah. Like what I want to say is I think the most important part as a student is just to be engaged. So if you join a linjeforening, ISFiT Uka, I think you should just try something. But I think what makes ISFiT special is our projects like handing out Student Peace Prize, that we are making a cultural program for international students as well, that we have participants from all over the world, and really the international aspect of ISFiT. And also that ISFiT is kind of more, not political, but socially aware, yeah, and I think that's a really cool part of ISFiT actually.
And one of the things that separates us from, for instance, Uka, is that we work with a theme. So if you find the theme interesting, you should definitely at least try ISFiT.
Yes, because the theme this year, as mentioned earlier, is creating knowledge. Signe, you're sort of responsible. Your main focus is the theme. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the theme?
Yeah, as Frey said, the theme is creating knowledge. And what that means is that we as students should be aware that knowledge is actually something that is created. And this is something that raises a lot of important questions, but also something that gives us as students a chance to actually have an impact in the societies we live in. So I think what is really cool about the theme creating knowledge is that it's something that relates directly to us as students, and a theme that we can address in any way we want. Maybe you, Tujan, want to say something about how the theme is worked with in the cultural section, for example?
Yes. When we are booking acts, we try to think of how that act fits into the theme. Now, the theme is very broad, so the theme can be interpreted in different ways, and that's how we're trying to book. And we try to fill the spectrum that the theme covers in the acts that we do book. So that's kind of how the culture section is working with the theme.
Yeah, I can say something about the Student Peace Prize and the theme, because obviously the prize is not based on the theme. It's a completely separate thing. However, we are extremely aware that the Student Peace Prize can be a cool thing to incorporate into the theme creating knowledge, because you can create knowledge about situations around the world that students in Norway aren't necessarily aware of. So that's a really cool aspect this year.
And also just that creating knowledge, as I said, is about us as students being active and making change in our society. And I think the Student Peace Prize is handed out to a student who has actually shown that that is possible. And I think that's a really cool kind of relation between the theme and the Student Peace Prize.
We're now being joined by ISFiT's own wonderful president.
Running a bit late, but I'm here now.
In her little grenade.
Yeah, I dressed up. I think I misunderstood the dress code, but that's fine.
And I also want to remind everyone that in the description there's a Google form where you can send in your questions, and we will take them promptly. We have 8 people watching right now, which is and yeah, Matilda, we've just been going through a little bit loosey-goosey about what ISFiT is.
Yeah, that's nice.
Do you want to tell us your favorite ISFiT memory?
Oh, yes, I really like to do that. So in ISFiT 17, I was a workshop leader, and the theme was discrimination. it's not relevant for the history, but I just wanted to say that. But one day we had this workshop with the Student Peace Prize, where we all gathered in the student society, and there was the winner of the Student Peace Prize in 15, Ayat, who was talking about her situation. She was incarcerated. Thank you. Because of her performance of a poem criticizing the government in Bahrain. When she talked about this, someone in the audience, a participant in the festival, said, "Can you perform the poem?" And she said, "It's only in Arabic. I don't have it translated in English." And then the person said again, "Yes, but we want to hear it." And then she performed her poem that she got arrested for, and it was an incredible experience. I can't even describe it. It was just something sitting in a room with 500 students from all over the world and listening to this poem and just hearing like the strength of the poem, even though we didn't understand what was being said. And that is a memory I will always remember. I think it's the most like impactful memory I have in my entire life. It's quite crazy.
Yeah.
And if you can just shoot in, because I think that story really shows also how culture was related to creating knowledge. Because I mean, Ayat, the reason she was imprisoned for reading a poem is because she wanted change in her society, and for that she was imprisoned, and she used culture as a way of expressing that change.
Yeah, the story about Ayat is really amazing, and every time you tell this story I get goosebumps, and I just love them. So Ayat is a really amazing person.
Yeah.
Cool. Good question. Good answer.
Thank you.
And then we have one question is, how do I volunteer at ISFiT? I could answer that. Soon we'll be starting the recruitment period, where we'll be blasting around as much as we can, finding new people who are interested in us, answering your questions, just like this. We'll post this stream later on our social media. And so the 17th of August, we'll start the official recruitment period, and then you can apply. And you can apply to almost every section in ISFiT.
Yeah, and I think what's important to say is that we have a lot of positions for volunteers, and we really want new students, and also old students, of course, but new students as well, to come and be a part of ISFiT. So we really want, if you are interested, I think this is interesting, please apply, because we want to get to know you.
Then I have another question. What surprised you most after you joined ISFiT?
Ooh. Difficult one.
I
Yeah.
have an answer actually.
Yeah.
It surprised me how freely we were able to just make something happen. And I think that goes across the board. In every section, in every gang, you can just figure something out, come up with an idea, and then make it happen. I mean, the Peace Prize was something someone just had an idea about in a party at Samfunnet. They just took the idea and ran with it. And because we are so free to do whatever we want, I think that's the thing that surprised me the most, and it's a really cool thing.
I think I agree with Kristen here, because it's really amazing, because in one way it is a really professional organization where we do a lot of professional things. However, the core is always the creativity and the volunteers developing their projects and everyone learning along the way. So it's we're making this crazy festival, and it's all just based on what we want to do. And if we don't want to do a thing, we can say, no, we don't want to do that, and then it doesn't happen, and that's fine. And we can say we want to do that, and then it's something crazy, and suddenly we manage to do that. So it's really cool.
And I would like to add that maybe what surprised me the most is how much we can do without experience. So people that, for instance, book concerts, have never done it before, or I don't know,
I've never made a Peace Prize before. Never done it before.
So I think maybe what surprised me again is that just with being engaged, you can do so much, and you don't really need to have experience at all to be able to make a festival, and that's really, really cool.
And that's really important as well, because we don't care if you've done a lot of things or you haven't done anything. We just want people who are eager to make a festival. So myself, I was a stage designer in ISFiT 19. I was designing how the stage and the Peace Prize and the opening ceremony was going to look. And now a year later, I'm the president. And that was just because I thought this is so cool that I want to work a lot more with this. And that's the core of all our volunteers. It's just people who want to be part of ISFiT and create a festival.
I like the saying we have that it's like, even though everything goes wrong, we always say like, at least there will be a festival. Like ISFiT is now 30 years, and history has shown that the festival will happen anyway in some form or another, and therefore we are very free to try new things. So the festival will happen.
Yeah, true.
And especially in a world like the world we have today with a pandemic going around, there's still going to be a festival. We don't know exactly how or in what capacity. That changes every day with the new restrictions. But we know that there will be a festival.
So absolutely, no doubt, there will be a festival.
Because that is something that's good that you brought this up, because someone is wondering, do you need any experience in volunteering, and what do I need in the organization?
No experience.
No experience
is required. Just I don't know, be eager to learn is probably the only thing we were looking for. And that you're a student.
If you're always smiling, that's also nice.
But you don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
Can I, a normal student from Trondheim, participate on the festival without being a volunteer?
Yes. No, but you can both apply and become a participant. Those that participate at the workshops and part of the festival, which is with the international students. However, we also have a lot of culture events and also a lot of other things happening around in the city, and art exhibition, etc. So there's a lot of things to be part of and to experience the festival. And also the theme of creating knowledge is a theme that is really important for all students. So we hope that also all students want to be part of that discussion of what responsibility, but also what possibilities do we as students have in creating knowledge.
I just thought of last ISFiT, we had a dancing event with only nude dancers. And then all of a sudden we needed a lot of people from Trondheim who wanted to dance nude in student society. So you never know how you can participate in ISFiT.
True.
Do you guys want to mention some stuff that you can do? Some of the fun stuff with as a volunteer, some of the different teams. Do you want to talk about some teams in your section, for example, Tushan?
In my section we're 8 teams, and all of them have different responsibilities. It ranges from booking performing arts, which can be anything from dancers to the nude dancers, to being a part of what operates Studentersamfunnet and the student society during the festival. And we try to cover as many aspects of culture as possible, so that our culture program is varied. So if you like culture, you should definitely check out the culture section.
Who is your dream guest for ISFiT 21? This person can be dead or alive, or even fictional. Any takers?
Oh, that's way too difficult question. Oh my god.
This is actually a question you get quite a lot when you're in ISFiT, and my response is always the correct answer, I think it's important that it's something that the volunteers can do. I don't want to say we should have this person here, but I think actually it is an important point.
I do. I do agree that this is something the volunteers should figure out. So maybe a fictional one is probably the easiest. And I would say, as far as creating knowledge, maybe
now we're so curious to know what you're going to say.
Maybe I don't know, Batman or something.
Oh,
because he has a lot of gadgets and he figures out stuff. So yeah, like Batman would be fun.
Batman.
Yeah.
That's true.
Nice. Well, this has been great. I think we should start rounding off. It's soon 12 o'clock.
Oh, so
wow.
fast.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Time flies.
But can I just say, because we talked just a little bit about like what you can do in ISFiT specifically, and we have the culture and we have the Student Peace Prize. As well, we have an administration who works more with logistics, with transport, with food, and also we have a group working with the organizational resources, so with economy, with finance, as with HR, as well as we have the participant section working with the workshops and the dialogue projects. So there's a lot of different things to do. So my recommendation is to go in when we post the recruitment and read through everything, because suddenly there's something there that you didn't think about, and then you will suddenly apply it. When I was going to apply ISFiT 17, I thought I was going to apply something totally different, but then I read and I was like, stage designer, wow, I didn't know that existed even. And then I applied and did that. So I would just recommend check it all out, because there's a lot of things that you can't imagine, or you would just, it's a lot of cool things to check out.
Definitely.
Yeah, and try to apply to something that you're not quite sure about. So you don't have to be an expert of peace to join the Peace Prize, not at all. And last year, I had no clue what I was signing up for when I applied for transport. And I got to make this super cool train ride. And you never know what the positions will be until you make your position yourself. And that's something that's really cool.
And also, I just want to say, if you're uncertain, just apply and come to the interview. And the interview is also for you to ask questions. So just try. There's no mistake in applying and then not applying. Just try. That's my recommendation, really. Yeah.
And just ask anyone in ISFiT, hey, do you know about a cool position that I might be good for?
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining this little stream of ours. Thank you to everyone who's been watching and everyone who has sent in questions. I'm going to mention some important dates before we sign off. For example, like I said earlier, the application period starts the 17th of August. We will be giving out flyers, putting up posters, and we're going to talk to you as much as we are able to. So if you see an ISFiT person running around at Stripa, grab a hold of them and ask your questions. The recruitment periods last until 31st of August, so you have some time to apply. And during that time, you should be as curious about ISFiT as possible. And then there's also a fun little SPP date that you should look out for, which is October 15th. You want to say something about that?
Yes, on October 15th, we will announce who this year's winner will be. It will be happening at Litteraturhuset in Oslo, but we're trying to make a streaming event here in Trondheim at Studentersamfunnet, so keep your eyes up for that. And as well in different university cities around Norway, we're trying to make something happen. So I think that will be really cool, and I'm so excited.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for this. We will see you around. Bye. And
Bye.